the studios of Basement Recordings, and this is one of those very special occasions when we get a chance to introduce the young people on the pan scene in New York. And when they come up with innovative ideas and they actually implement and move upon it, we really want to share it with the wider New York pan community and, of course, the global steel pan community. We are pleased to introduce NYSSO, the New York Steel Pan Symphonic Orchestra. Welcome one, welcome all. This is the entire committee, and this is Travis Roberts, Alicia Dixon, Junior Keel, Colonel Simon, Wayne Bernard, Arden Herbert, and you guys are from miscellaneous bands on the New York scene, Symphonic, Kasim, Despas USA, and there are quite a few other people from all of New York's best steel bands who are part of your organization. Welcome, NYSSO, to the studios of When Steel Talks, and let's get right into it. Tell us what the goals of NYSSO are.
Okay, well, NYSSO was basically formed and is a composite of the talented and skilled young players in Brooklyn. And again, it's as you said, it takes players from all the bands in the New York region, and the primary goal is to provide education and to fill the gap and the void that has certainly plagued the New York scene and Trinidad in terms of, players not being able to read music. So that's the basic reason for forming NYSSO. And I'm sure any of the other members can tell you about the goals or some of the goals.
Yeah. Right now we're trying to get the players, trying to teach them, nurture them about basic music skills, rhythmic patterns, notations of music, help them be able to get a good understanding of how to read music. Because in NYSSO, we're not just dealing with whole notes and take notes and by memorization, but you're actually going to have a music sheet in front of you where you're able to sit down and read the music and play. So we're trying to get the players on a standard of being able to really truly comprehend the music that they're playing and have a full understanding of the music. And we're also trying to set up a scholarship program for the players, because right now in New York we have a lot of players that, talented players, of course, that's leaving New York and going places elsewhere to look to get a degree in pan. Why is it that we have a lot of good players that have to leave New York to go other places to get a degree? So we're trying to set that up in New York City.
Okay, so you are essentially about making sure that New York pan players can rise to any occasion on any musical scene internationally. What has been the feedback so far with the formation of NYSSO, the New York Steel Pan Symphonic Orchestra?
It's been a mix. There's a lot of people who support it. Some people are worried that, as we said before, some of the talented players in Brooklyn are quote-unquote going to leave their band, their respective bands. But what people fail to realize is that we're not challenging other bands in New York. It's about us coming together because we saw the need that we need to learn music as sheet music and not just, like he said, taking notes and this, that, and so we came together and formed this just so we can teach everybody else.
Do you see the benefits, therefore, or do you think that the other bands will be able to appreciate the benefits of their players becoming a part of NYSSO and then being able to take those skills that they learned within your organization back to their own bands and elevate the bands themselves?
That's exactly it. That's it in a nutshell.
What was the idea behind the NYSSO? When did you all really start to think about this? And what was the approximate time span in between? Let's do this, maybe we should, maybe let's talk about it, to where we are now, sitting and introducing you formally to the global pan community.
You want this one?
Junior?
You want this one?
You want
Wayne.
The story?
I'll give you guys a basic story. I remember one day I was coming from school and I remember all in downtown. We sat in a Verizon truck. I know you know this stuff, so we sat down and we spoke for about 3 hours about the whole pan scene in New York and where it's heading and how it's going. And I mean, we really touched on a lot of topics about pan itself. And this is basically where we have arrived right now. As you can see, NYSSO is the step where we have arrived from the basic conversations. Because other than myself and several of these guys, Travis, Alicia, Junior, and Kern, we sat down, we spoke about it on numerous occasions. And we brought it to this right now. We brought it to NYSSO and decided that we are the future generation of pan right now, and we have to be able to carry it on, because the people that's carrying pan right now, they did a wonderful job of getting pan to where it is. Respect them for that. We love them for that. They did a great job. They worked very hard. But in the long run, it's us, the future, the younger generation that has to carry pan to the next level.
I would think then that the older generation and the people who are actually on the pan scene right now take kudos and bows because they have actually given birth to you guys who see the need and appreciate what they have done in the groundwork that they have laid to take it to the next level. So they should take a bow.
Yeah,
Sure.
And the correct name is the New York Symphonic Steel Orchestra. Okay, it's New York Symphonic Steel Orchestra. The website, Travis, what is it?
It's www.newyorksymphonysteelorchestraonline.com.
And the actual acronym, because that's how it is,
Oh,
right?
yes, that's how it
So
is.
it's
NYSSOonline.com.
www.nyssoonline.com.
Yes.
Okay, and what's the average age group? Because you speak about scholarships, you speak about young people, and I know people would be interested in finding out, what's the entrance age so far, and also
You got,
perhaps the cutoff age.
You got some 17-year-old years there.
Well, the age range varies from, I would say, around 17 to the mid-30s. Not too old, just
Just right.
What
You're
style-
mid-range.
okay, what style of music will NYSSO be focusing on?
Jazz, big band music,
Straight classical.
classical.
We're trying to get away from the whole soca scene, the whole reggae, the whole R&B, because every band in New York is playing that, so we wanted to be different. That's why we say we don't want to challenge any other band.
Okay, so you're bringing something else to the table that might be so far been overlooked in the general fear and enthusiasm for Panorama and other
Regular
music.
gigs.
What has been the response of the younger people, like say 15, 16, those who are coming in and they hear big band, jazz, things that they may not have necessarily thought of in terms of pan before? Would you like to say this is where we want to focus our time and our talents in conjunction with music literacy and the possible scholarships?
Well, all the players that's heard about it, they heard rumors about it, they're very excited. All the players that attend the sessions or the classes, they're very excited about it. They're really into it. They enjoy the whole idea about it. It's something new, it's something fresh. It's that they're able to learn. They're getting stuff. Even if somebody's been playing pan for probably 10 years, there's something that they're learning something. It's, this is new to me. I never knew this. So I mean, the response is very overwhelming. I mean, we're still getting calls from players like, "Oh, NYSSO, how come I'm now hearing about this? How come I haven't heard about this and nobody never called me?" So the response is very overwhelming. The players are very excited about NYSSO right now.
If people want to get in contact with NYSSO and become part of the organization, or at least be considered for membership, how do they do that? Besides going to www.nyssoonline.com.
Well,
Contact telephone number.
Yes.
they have a contact number. The number is 917-692-0147. That's me. My name is Wayne. They could contact me and call me if they have any questions about NYSSO. They need to ask about registration or how they could become a member. They could just contact me at that number.
You mentioned classes, workshops. Tell us a bit more about that.
The classes are on Mondays, sometimes Sundays, from 7 to 9.
All right. And what's the format generally of the workshop classes?
Okay, we begin, we have our class sessions, we sing notes as in any other class. At that point, we'll learn music theory, note values. As of now, we're doing note values, anything dealing with music theory. And then after that, we do little workshops, rhythm patterns and stuff like that. And then we'll move on to the pan doing the different variations of stuff.
Now also it's just to sit down and take notes, but you also have like the on-hand segment of the class too, where you actually get to take what you will learn in the class and apply it to the pan. So if we worked on probably certain scales, let's say the C major scale through the F major scale, we'll go and apply that onto the pan now, the second half of the class, and we run the scales probably forward, backwards. I mean, they did several chromatics and things of that nature, and everything is just about everything that's applied in the class that day is also applied in the on-hand segment. So it's not like, all right, well, I just got these notes and I don't understand what it is. So it's like you get it, and then you go ahead and you apply it, so you have a true understanding of what's being done.
You spoke about music scholarships. What measures are in place, or how do you intend to begin addressing that aspect of your organization? Because yes, there's going to be a lot of eager people out there thinking, oh, this is a chance perhaps for us to actually continue in pan. There are a lot of people who play pan, and they play it for the love of it. They don't see the hope or the possibility unless they have some real college funds and to travel out of New York State generally to take part in pan. So, and to pursue it maybe as an educational goal. What do you guys have in place, or what are you looking at to?
Well, one of the major things that we're trying to do, as we said earlier, as one of our goals, is to establish an institution whereby there can be a medium and a collaboration with one of the local universities and their music program, where the talented players can get a scholarship, through the collaboration with NYSSO and that local school. In addition to writing and trying to procure funding from different corporations as to assist in providing these scholarships for the talented youth. So we are looking to collaborate with universities as well as reach out to businesses and other people that can certainly help.
Have you made any direct outreaches yet, especially to the businesses, in terms of support for NYSSO?
Well, we have certainly started the process, and again, we're getting very positive feedback and stuff. So things are certainly looking very positive.
One of the key concerns of Pan Plays in New York City is practice space. Now, you guys have workshops and classes. You have a membership, I think, of about 30 so far?
45.
45? Okay. What has it been like for you guys in terms of procuring an area for your classes, workshops? How is that going? How stable is it?
Well, fortunately, we were able to get some space from the St. Francis of Assisi Church. They were able to, give us space to use until such time as we get our permanent space. So, we do have space, and I said we have reached out to other people, and they have certainly given us the support.
In terms of playing out, and I don't want to use the term gigs here, in terms of playing out year-round, currently in New York, most of the student fraternity, it's panorama time, it's a summer thing.
Right.
But based on your own mandate and the area in which you're going into, or which you are into, what do you see NYSSO doing outside of the Pan season, the traditional Pan season in New York?
Right, well, NYSSO, like any other professional orchestra, doesn't have a particular season. Currently, we are, looking to enhance our repertoire so that, we have at least 16 classical pieces, which initially would take, some time to learn because we start at ground level in terms of reading music. But as time progresses, we will certainly be able to, as one of the members said earlier, just take a piece of sheet music and read it. So realistically, I don't see the orchestra performing anytime soon in terms of say the next 3 months. But once all the music has been learned, I see us performing regularly and not just seasonally.
I have a question that I'm just dying to get
about it.
Yeah.
What's that?
Oh, actually, it builds directly on what you said in terms of reading, sheet music. We see a lot of steel orchestras from around the U.S. performing mainly with music stands and scores in front of them. That's your goal in terms of people being able to read the music. But when you actually hit the stage in NYSSO, will you guys have your music sheets, or will you be playing from memory? Because that is exactly who you guys have been. Yeah. I mean, I'm interested in what do you think? How do you intend to do that?
Well, I believe based on the reconditioning, it's going to be difficult to memorize all their pieces, because once we reach a certain level and we say, we have this piece to play, we don't have the time to say memorize it. We would be so proficient that we just have the sheet music and play. So I certainly can visualize that we would certainly be using music sheets.
You mentioned about 16 or so classical pieces. You mentioned big band and jazz. Tell me a little bit more about the influences in terms of jazz. We're talking about contemporary jazz, art jazz, or just influences. What's the goal? What is the thought pattern?
Right. Well, in terms of the classical spectrum, we're looking from the Baroque period to present day. And in terms of jazz, the same thing. We're going back to the early roots, to the contemporary, and the infused jazz. But it certainly would be arranged in an orchestrated version.
Travis, in terms of the website, NYSSO's website, down the line, as the organization progresses, do you see a synergy between technology, since you're the technology person, the tech guy,
The tech guy.
the technology person, and the organization NYSSO, the steel pan? How do you
Yes.
see it working on,
Because one of our goals we was trying to do is basically have like you could go on nice online and be like members, and like say we have something in class, or we could like basically post like information, like say we have a class or whatever,
Workshop.
a workshop. If somebody missed a class, they could go and actually take the class there and catch up there. One other thing we're also trying to do is basically have like a profile for each member. So you could click on, say, Wayne Bernard, and you see his whole history of where he came from.
The big shutter.
His whole history.
Okay.
So hopefully that's one of our goals on the website.
Alicia, and I'm going to be asking this of each one of you. Give us a bird's eye view of what your role is as a committee member of NYSSO.
Well, as a committee member, we all got together, we spoke about doing this. As of now, I am the executive administrator. Anything dealing with being in the band, I'll be the one to speak. So after you speak to Wayne with your interest, you'll come to me, I'll inform you about the registration, the monthly dues. As of now, registration is $25, and there's a monthly due of $5 for the members of the band. Also, I will be giving all the contact information, anything that we have to contact the members with. I'll be making the contact. I'll be reaching out to say, okay, next week we'll be doing so and so and so, and so forth and so on.
So basically, you keep these guys.
Yeah.
Junior, tell us about you.
What can I say? Like you said, fellas got together and just saw this vision. It had to come out. So basically, here I am.
Okay.
In a nutshell.
I was told about this by Wayne. They was taking so long. So long to start.
He's
You were
eager.
eager.
Oh,
You wait for this to get off the ground. This type of burning energy that is characteristic of a lot of the young people and even some of the older people who wanted to see this 20 years ago, but it kind of passed them by. So you're just one of many. So,
many.
Take so long.
The thing is that the older generation who helped us get to where we are today have their secrets and have their tricks, and it's hard for us to learn from them because it's
like
my
passed
trick.
on.
I don't want to show it off, but we just want to find a way to get our own information. It's reading music and learning music. In this sense, we can pass it on to whoever else.
And to touch on what he said, a very, very valid point is in terms of the steel pan community, there is no succession planning. If, say, some of the great arrangers or tuners, happen to go on to the next life, they don't have understudies that can then, take that talent and continue and pass on. So as Junior said, some of them are not willing to, or for whatever reason, don't share their secrets or tricks. It's difficult when you have that sort of situation for the continuation it's difficult. So
hopefully things will change slowly but surely. And I think with the success of NYSSO, that when that becomes established and they understand that there really is no challenge to the perceived hierarchies and the traditional steel band scenes and bands, I think there'll be a lot more support at that time, so you just have to keep doing what you do. Wayne Bernard, tell us what your role is in NYSSO.
I'm the public relations man. Any players that hears any information about NYSSO, they want any information, or they want to be a member, they contact me. I let them know what NYSSO is about, how it is, how we run it, how we're looking to focus NYSSO, what direction we're going towards. So any information, I'm like the information guy. Public relations.
Information guy. Info man.
Arden, Herbert.
But currently I am the music director. I am basically the person, again, with the assistance and feedback of all the members that would determine, what sort of music we are going to learn, and I, teach the music theory and the workshops. So that's my current role, and I'm loving it.
You spoke about being the musical director and generally deciding in which direction musically your organization goes. Who assists, if anyone else, in the actual teaching of workshops and classes? Is that solely your responsibility at the moment?
Right. Well, we got some assistants, and two guys in particular, Freddie Harris and Quent Rose. They are also our members, and they also assist in the teaching, right, of our music and stuff. Because as you know, Freddie has his degree from I think it's Florida Memorial. Quent is currently at Brooklyn College. So we certainly have some expertise across the floor.
As long as that not along with the workshop. Well, along with the workshops, they also have a tutoring session that's run by Quint Rose. So any extra help that the players would like to get or feel that they need, Quint Rose has a tutoring session that he sets up on particular days with the players.
Okay. Mr. Roberts, in addition to technology and the website, is there any other role that you play within NYSSO? Support. It is.
I got these nice t-shirts.
Graphic design.
Graphic design.
There you go.
Artistic and graphic
Nice.
design.
A little small, but
Okay, so
Yeah, that's about it.
graphic and artistic design.
Yes.
We're looking at about 45 members, you said, approximately in NYSSO right now. Are you prepared for an influx of people to cross, say, 60, 75 people by the end of the year or more?
Well, I can anticipate having that amount
And
of
you're prepared for that?
Right, but however, we do
New York
have
Symphonic Steel Orchestra.
but we do have auditions and evaluation. So not every single player that comes would make the grade. I mean,
To be
they
part of the
right to be
steel
right to be
orchestra
right.
itself.
They would certainly stay on, and we will continue to teach
Sure.
them right. But there are auditions because we're looking for a certain level.
Okay, so I suppose it's correct to say, and correct me if I'm wrong, that NYSSO is about the education, the upliftment of all young people, and not young necessarily teenagers, but outside of that bracket as well, of the New York Pan fraternity. Not every single person will necessarily make it to the Symphonic Steel Orchestra, but they can certainly aspire. But if even by chance they don't make it, the wealth of education, music literacy, and exposure to different musical styles that they will come away with from being a member of your organization is priceless, and they can always take this back to their own steel orchestra.
Certainly.
What I'm going to ask individually each of you, what you would like to impart most to the New York Pan fraternity in this little session here? Would you like them to know personally anything that you think that we really need to keep in mind, or that they should really have as a focus? And we will start with Mr. Colonel Simon.
Mostly to do the music and for all the band people, players to get together, fussing and fighting, bringing on each other, but just for all of us to come together. That's what I want.
Wait.
Well, like Colonel said, when everybody comes together for NYSSO, it's like, and you have so many different representatives. You have representatives from Wattos, Sonatas, Pantonic, Cassium,
Crossfire, Symphonic, okay.
Band ambassadors.
Band ambassadors.
It's like Norskins. It's such a good camaraderie among all the players. Everybody comes together down there. They, it's like now. All right, I may know something that Colonel don't know. Good for you. I don't know. You don't know what I know. It's like, all right, if you don't understand it, I'm gonna sit down with you and I'm gonna help you try and understand it. It's such a great relationship. I would like to see that continues, and that all the players, a lot of players try and come in and get the basic knowledge, because it's very important. It's just like any instrument, like the piano, you have to learn the basics. Keyboards, guitar, you have to learn the basics, and the same thing in pan, you have to learn the basics. Basics, fundamentals is very important.
Do you think that this is maybe the first time in the history of New York Pan that there's been an opportunity in an organization that's actively playing or looking at music as opposed to the administrative part of it, where there is possibility for all the New York Steel bands to join, if it was just one or two or three or four people? Has there been a precedence, or do you think that this is probably the first time it's actually getting off the ground?
I would like to say yes, because as we've all talked
As
before.
you mentioned, I don't think you'd have done any bands, and I'm sure that after this, you'll be getting calls from those who may not have known about it.
Right. Yeah, like we spoke about before privately, we've noticed that, I don't want to say the older generation, but the people who brought, like I said, for band to where it is now, have basically maintained this stigma that pan is all about competition, and so it's sort of formed where I'm from this band and you're from that band, and not supposed to intermingle or whatever the case may be. No, we have to realize that we're all in this one fraternity, and it's something special that we need to express to the rest of the world. So us forming this is what we're trying to do, and get away from the, I don't like y'all because I play with this band, and time to get rid of that.
You're a British
I'm sure you guys
the same talk every year.
On a guest book, and you see all the lines of arguments just going on. It's
For
probably
sure.
about 5
I
or
don't
6
like this
pages.
one, and they like
We need to get away from
Yeah,
that
well,
right
you
now.
know what? I think that having NYSSO around is a step in the right direction to channel all of that energy positively, because it seems it's going to be a level playing field. This is about NYSSO. It's not about any one band. So I think it's a place where people can prove themselves, prove their mettle if necessary. So, Mr. Keel, tell us about, what you would like to share with the pan community of NYSSO, etc.?
Like everybody else here, I'd love to further my education in music literacy, and basically help, like you said before, get these bands together, because the whole fighting, and it really doesn't make sense, especially with something as special as a steel band. It doesn't make sense to me.
Alicia, in addition to your administrative duties within NYSSO, what personally, do you have in mind in terms of the direction of the organization, and what would you like to share?
I'm very interested, and I really would like to push the scholarship program. For me personally, I wish I had the opportunity to be able to stay in New York and further my PAN education and go into college and have PAN as my major. Unfortunately, we don't have that as yet, and I want to push that so that the future generations, they can stay in New York and they can attend Brooklyn College or Long Island University and wherever and study PAN, whereas they don't have to go as far as Florida or Maryland or other universities that have this already set up. I think that New York has some of the best players outside of Trinidad, and that we should have the opportunity to stay here amongst our family and friends and further our education with our love of PAN.
And in terms of educators, who would you like to maybe learn from, or who would you like to see in positions of education that would, elevate your knowledge?
Well, many of the arrangers, including from Bugsy, Bradley, Pelham, everybody. Also, the people within the bands, the captains, the tuners, everybody going into the university and teaching and passing on what they've learned throughout their years and passing it on to the younger generation. A lot of people talk about it, but there's really no one taking that step to actually do it. I would like to use NYSSO to actually take that step to get that going.
Travis, your goals, your ideas, your visions for NYSSO, and your personal thoughts on it?
Well, basically, what I would like everybody basically to do is basically support NYSSO more. I mean, most of the unrest bands out there, I don't think they should be afraid of NYSSO. They should try to basically support us and help us take this to the next level, which PAN have been stuck in one gear for the longest while, and we need to take it somewhere much better and improve ourselves.
Arden?
Nice. I certainly can envision a time when all the steel band players in Brooklyn would certainly be able to read and write music, be able to arrange and compose at a very high standard, as well as ensuring that every player that comes into NYSSO can leave and also enhance their own orchestras, their individual orchestras, which they began to learn from. I also hope that the steel band community would look at NYSSO. I mean, not just in terms of being able to learn music. There may be some people in the steel band community that do not want to professionally pursue music, but just by the example of the young people, that anything that you put your mind to, you can do it, and you should certainly go out to bold and new and creative ideas for whatever field. It may not be music. You may have a passion in dance. You may have a passion in cooking. You may have a passion in anything. Just believe in yourself, and make sure that you get the support from your family members and stuff, and just keep on pursuing that sort of creativity.
I'm going to push the envelope a little bit here. When do you think we can look forward to your recording of NYSSO material?
We certainly looking to within a 12-month period to produce NYSSO's first CD. Yes.
And NYSSO in concert.
NYSSO in concert.
Was certainly.
Well, that's going to be before the season,
Yeah,
surely.
certainly. Yeah.
Junior, for the record, let's just tell the New York Pan fraternity exactly how they can get in touch with you guys again, you know, and make that overture and let them know that the doors of the New York Symphonic Steel Orchestra are wide open for any interested Pan person to come in, and also any person who's interested in Pan and wants to gain music literacy at the same time.
Right. Well, like she said, the doors are always open. NYSSO is currently accepting members. We're teaching classes, so if you want to learn Pan, not just Pan, but music itself, music literacy and theory, we're all teaching. Come down. The numbers were given out before. Contact Wayne at 917-692-0147. Our website is www.nyssoonline.com. So any questions, comments, send it down to the website. We'll
And
get
your
back to you
email
as-
is NYSSOsteel.
Yes, NYSSOsteel at yahoo.com.
Yeah. All right. And the telephone number again, Wayne?
917-692-0147.
Okay. Travis, Alicia, Junior, Cornell, Wayne, and Arden, you guys have undertaken a magnanimous task, but at the same time, it's way, way overdue. Congratulations on taking this step forward. All the success, nothing but the best as you set an example and set the tone for what will be an eventual major New York Steel Pan movement, the New York Symphonic Steel Orchestra. Congratulations.
Thank you.
Thank you.